The 10th is real simple again. The power is not delegated to the United States by the Constitution, nor prohibited by it to the states, are reserved to the states or to the people. Now remember, as Lou said at the beginning, and as we've talked about with the whole Constitution, the Constitution's whole purpose was to limit
Limit
the power of the
of the
government.
government.
So if the power wasn't delegated specifically to the United States federal government, by default, unless it was prohibited otherwise, it remains with the states. And remember, back in the 1790s, 1780s, 1790s, the Federalist, Anti-Federalist was a very, very big debate. And the states, the colonies at the time, to be states, were very, very particular about making sure that their particular dominions, Connecticut, Virginia, Georgia, their states actually meant something. They didn't want it just to dissolve into the bigger United States. The states actually mean something. And the 10th Amendment is there as a testament to that.
Right. And to put it in perspective, at the time that the 10th Amendment came up and it was ratified, the only rights the only rights specifically reserved to the federal government were essentially coining currency and declaring war. That was it. That it was pretty much wide open for the states. And that was by design, because again, as Rob said, and as the whole Federalist, Anti-Federalist, all the discussions that go on about that, they wanted to keep it decentralized, where the federal government should be in charge of the most important things, the things that really we want may have uniform, but that we want the government to be responsive enough where the people for each different state can shape what their state looks like. And that's where you hear a lot of the different issues that come up now, is when you have, again, going back to, and that, when I was discussing, it's never meant to be something, discussing the issue of abortion or rights to privacy, but this is where it's coming up again, is where people are saying, one of the concerns that people have is that, look, that this whole issue regarding the freedom of abortion, freedom of rights, stuff like that, right to privacy, they're concerned that there's going to be a federalized movement against that. And they're going to make it a federal statute or federal, that we're going to create a federal law saying that you can or cannot, or however, whatever you prefer is. The 10th Amendment is pretty much preventing that from happening. That's saying that that's not something specifically preserved in the Constitution as a right of the federal government. So as such, that will, essentially that will never happen.
Right.
So,
and remember, the baseline and the underlying definition of this country and the character of this government, the federal government, really comes down to this. And the 10th Amendment kind of encapsulates it. Our government is one of limited and enumerated powers. So whenever an issue comes up, you got to ask yourself first, not whether it violates someone's rights. Okay. But whether it exceeds the national government's powers to do so.
Right.
Does the government have the power? Because only certain enumerated powers were given to the government. And if it wasn't given to the federal government, if it wasn't given to the federal government, stays with the states.
Right. I mean, if there's one thing that you take out of any of this, that's a key phrase.
Right.
If it's not in there, then the federal government has no authority.
So now you can see, even all these years later, the balance and the compromise between the Federalists and the Anti-Federalists. This is basically saying to those people who were the Anti-Federalists, hold on, don't be scared, because whatever we're not giving to the federal government, and it's going to be limited, you guys still have, which helped enable the passage of the Bill of Rights, which helped buttress the Constitution. And as my daughter would say, chef's kiss. Done.
Yeah.